Hello everyone, it's Irene in here. So today I thought about bringing you another game, sorry. I'm so used to it. This one is a free to play one. And apparently it's on Steam too. I found it on itch.io, but it's on Steam too, so I might put the link down below for the Steam version too. Um, I am not certain about if this could be for an otome kind of situation, but I don't think so. I have like this sensation that it's like a general, it's like totally open, and I would not say that this has anything to do with real romance. Okay, that's why I'm like, I usually play the otome games in here, but I think this one is going to be something different. It's going to be more into the emotional and psychological thriller of the thing. Okay, and the name of the game is Myosotis. Myosotis is a Greek name, and I know you're going to say it in your English way, but it's actually a Greek word, and it's the word that it's used for these tiny little flowers that sometimes you find them like in blue shades, sometimes like in white or blue shades, kind of like that. And you actually see them in the screen right now. It's the forget me not. Like you have like these little flowers there, forget me not. Um, and the title is Myosotis, My Life is Not Yours to Take. So what do I have to say about this one? Just give me a minute. So this is from Frog Cake. And the story goes by: you died at the hands of your now ex-boyfriend, Ethan. Filled with a mix of sorrow, confusion, and rage, you decide to spend your afterlife hunting him in the hope of getting an answer from your murderer. However, you are only given more questions as you realize you are not the only ghost following him around. I think this is going to take us about like 2 hours and a half. I don't know. We'll see it. Okay. Another thing is that this game has two endings. One is the revenge one, which is like the easiest one for us to get, and the other one is the justice one. So I'm going to try to get the justice one, and then and then I'll see if we can get the revenge one too. Okay. The thing is, I told you that today I have like something scheduled, and I don't think I'm going to be able to stay here for a really long time. So we'll see in terms of like the amount of time this is going to take me, if I'm going to be able to do this, fully. So let's. I'm also like, yeah, I'm a bit sore on my throat, and I think it's because I passed like some time without being in here, and now my vocal cords are kind of like feeling it. So let's start this. Oh, by the way, I think this is like partially voiced. I think I am not sure about it. I'm going to start this with you, so let's see as we go along. So would you like to see the content warning for this game? Show content warning. So it has murder, strangulation, fire, described blood, described corpse, kissing a dead body, burning alive. Okay. So start the game. Work is boring. You never thought you'll ever be able to enjoy a job, and this particular one only proves you right. You shuffle through a stack of old case files, flipping through the pages without really reading them. The words blurred together, medical terms and names of that, all blending into the same dull nothing. That's all this is. There was nothing to do at the cemetery today. You should be at the cemetery right now, you tell yourself, but you wander back here, hoping for anything to break the monotony. But even here, there's nothing. Aside from all the bodies, but that doesn't freak you out as much as it used to. You sigh. Dropping the file back onto the counter, the morgue smells like antiseptic and old metal, the kind of scent that sticks to your clothes. The hum of the lights presses against your skull. You rub your eyes, glancing towards the door. Just a minute. As if on cue, someone enters. Hover on highlighted text to inspect a phantasm. Okay. Somewhat familiar. You've heard the sound of those footsteps 1,000 times. It barely registers in your mind. You look down expecting another coworker, maybe your supervisor, coming to scold you for wasting time. But it's Ethan, your boyfriend. So 23, male, smart, if a bit quiet. You have been dating this goofball for roughly a month. Ethan Calloway, okay. So what are you doing? You blink at him. He looks off. His stance is stiff, shoulders tense, like he wasn't expecting to find anyone here. For a second, you think about answering seriously, but then again, this place is miserable, and he looks miserable, and it just feels right to break the tension. What, am I not allowed to loiter in my favorite depressing workplace? You flash him a smirk, but he doesn't react. His eyes flick down to your hands. You follow his gaze, frowning. You aren't holding anything special, just some old paperwork. But something about it makes him tense, his fingers twitching at his sides. So, cremation permit request form. This one is filled out but unsigned. I was about to ask the supervisor what to do with it, and the other file's down here. Put that down. Sure. You set the file back onto the counter, watching him carefully now. The shift in the air is subtle, but it's there. Something is wrong. Why are you even in here? Killing time, not literally. Still no reaction, not even a huff of amusement. Ethan's jaw clenches. His gaze flickers towards the door for half a second, like he's considering something. And that's when it really sinks in. He's nervous, not annoyed, not confused, nervous. You've worked with him long enough to know the difference. Your stomach twists. Okay. What's up with you? Nothing. His answers come too fast. His voice is too sharp, too controlled. Your fingers curl slightly. The lights feel too bright now. The whole room feels smaller, like the walls are closing in. Yeah, sure, nothing. You take a step back, just slightly, just enough to put space between you. You shouldn't feel like you have to. Ethan notices. What were you looking for? What? Nothing, I told you, I was just... Don't lie. His voice drops, lower than before. There's something underneath it, something restrained. The tension in the air tightens like a rope around your throat. Control and contain. You remember your dad using that same tone on your brother once. He had cheated on his girlfriend and Dad had just no. Even then, Dad's voice didn't sound like this. You don't like this. You don't like the way he's standing, the way his hands curl into fists like he's holding something back. Sympathetic nervous system. The feeling is barely perceptible with the torrent of adrenaline pumping into your veins, but a deep primal part of you has recognized the presence of a predator. You don't like the fact that for the first time since knowing him, you don't trust him, not even a little. You want to move past him and live. But he moves first. It's fast, too fast. 1 second he's just standing there staring, his expression unreadable. The next he's reaching for you. You don't even get the chance to react before his hands are on you, grabbing at your wrist, your arm, pushing. You stumble back, knocking over the chair behind you. The metal legs screech against the tile, the sound sharp and jarring. What the hell is happening? There's something wild in his eyes, something raw and terrified, but underneath that, there's certainty. There's intention. He's already made up his mind. Your body thrashes against him. You don't understand why. What did you do? Your vision, fight or flight reaction is screaming at you to get away, but he doesn't let go. Then pain, sharp and immediate. Ethan. You don't get to finish the question before he shoves you again, harder this time. Your back hits the metal table behind you, cold pressing through your clothes. The breath is knocked the breath is knocked from your lungs, and for a second you don't even feel scared, just confused. This isn't a joke. This isn't some weird misunderstanding. He says something, but you don't hear it over the rush of blood in your ears. You try to push him back again, but your balance is already off. Your feet slip against the sleek tile, and suddenly you are falling. Something hard and sharp presses into your back as you hit the floor, knocking the breath from your lungs completely. Your vision swims, pain flaring through you, deep and unbearable. Your hands grasp at nothing, your mind stuttering, trying to catch up. Ethan is leaning over you, his face is pale and tense, his chest rising and falling too fast. His hands are shaking now. Your fingers brush against something warm, spreading beneath you. Oh, positive. Oh, it's blood. No, 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 no. The words blur at the edges, dark creeping in too fast. You try to move, try to say something, but your body won't listen. The morgue feels even colder now, the lights too bright, buzzing louder than before. The weight in your limbs turn to nothing, the sound of your own breathing slows. The pain, it's still there, but it doesn't matter anymore. Your body feels wrong. Ethan is still there, watching, not moving, not saying a word. He just silently leaves and returns with an object in his hand. Then nothing. Everything is distorted, the morgue is still here, but it's wrong, at least more wrong than it felt before. The lights are dimmer now, flickering weakly, the once harsh brightness reduced to something distant. The constant hum of the fluorescents, the quiet buzz of the cooling units, it's all muffled, so flickering weakly. Animum penumbra. You are 7, it's past midnight, your brother wants to show you something, it's the Orion constellation. He whispers, barely containing his excitement. Through his telescope, the stars blur together. A quiet buzz. Infinity whirl. You are 14, it's past midnight. Your bedroom is on the 2nd floor, but you can hear the television boom below the floorboards. Your parents almost had another fight. Now they watch TV in bitter silence. You would prefer if they had fought instead. So I think this is the moment where he probably killed us. And the sensation that I have is like that he was kind of like worried about something of seeing us in there for some reason, like we were snooping on something, right? It felt like that. You try to move, but your body doesn't feel real. Your limbs are weightless and disconnected, as if you are floating just above the floor. Limbus lividity. You are 18, it's past midnight, you are on your fourth coffee, and this homework isn't getting done any quicker. The due date is this morning, but your body feels so heavy. The cold that should be pressing against your skin isn't there. You don't feel anything. Not the chill of the room, not the ache in your limbs, not the pounding of blood in your veins. Vacus in oculis. You are 20, it's past midnight, this is your second shift at the morgue and the first time you've laid eyes on a dead body. You saw it for only a second between two closing doors, your entire being went cold. Something shifts in the corner of your vision. You turn and... Memento Mori. You are 21, it's past midnight, Ethan Calloway asks you if you like to go out with him. Teasing him, you pretend to hesitate. Yes, I'd love to. You see yourself. Your body is still there, sprawled on the floor where you feel motionless, lifeless, arms slack, eyes dull, blood staining the tile beneath you in a slow creeping pool. It's so still that for a moment your mind refuses to believe it. That's not you. That can't be you. Then Ethan moves. He kneels beside your body, jaw tied, breath shaky. He hesitates just for a second, staring at you, or what's left of you, before his hands move quick and practiced. Bruising around the wrists, cuts and cracks at the back of the skull, defensive wounds cause of that, blunt force trauma to the head. You. He brushes your hair out of your face and tucks it behind your ear, caressing your cheek before leaning in momentarily to give it a kiss. He then backs up and grabs you by the shoulder, dragging you across the floor and gritting his teeth as he lifts your body and shoves it into a spare storage cabinet. You can't speak. You can't breathe. You can't even move as you watch it happen as Ethan presses your arms against your sides, pushing your legs in, making sure your body fits before slamming the door shut. That's it. That's where you are now. Shoved away like nothing, like an inconvenience, like you were never here. Ethan exhales sharply, pressing a hand over his face. His chest rises and falls unevenly before he forces himself to breathe slower. His fingers twitch, then steady. Slowly, methodically, he kneels again, this time rifling through your pockets. He pulls something out. You can see what it is, only that it makes him pause. His thumb brushes over it once, twice, before he shoves it into his own pocket. His hands are still shaking, but when he straightens, his face is blank. Did we have something that was important, and that's why he took it? Another breath, a slow exhale. Ethan rolls his shoulders, cracking his neck like he's resetting himself. Like whatever weakness just flickered through him doesn't exist anymore. When he turns towards the door, his steps are steady, controlled, like nothing happened. But you are still here. And you are watching. You aren't breathing anymore, but if you were, you think your chest would be aching. You. How could you? Oh, I think it's just him talking like the you in there. But I was like, is it there or not? How could you? Then Ethan stops, his hand on the doorknob, his head tilting slightly. And he looks directly at you. For the first time, he looks scared. His breath catches his whole body, going rigid as his eyes flicker. First to the door, then to the cold metal cabinet where he stuffed your body, and then to you. Your stomach would have dropped if you still had one. His expression falls apart, his lips part slightly, his brows drawing together, his pupils brown-white with something that looks almost like shock. He looks back at the cabinet, at the motionless body inside, at you again. His breath shudders out, his shoulders locking tight, and his fingers twitch at his sides. Then his face twists. Not in fear, not into guilt, something else, something unreadable, something dangerous. He doesn't say a word, doesn't even breathe for a second, but you can see it in his eyes. He knows this is real. He doesn't say anything, doesn't question it, doesn't even hesitate. His whole body jerks into motion as he turns away, grabbing the handle and shoving the door open. His footsteps are fast, panicked, but not entirely running. The sharp sound of his shoes echoing against the tiles, the fluorescent lights flicker as the door swings shut behind him. The lock clicks into place. You stare at the door, your body still in that cabinet. Ethan is gone, but you are still here. Stillness, another body in the morgue. And you aren't staying behind. You don't think, you just follow. He reaches the morgue door, grabbing for his keys with shaky hands. The key slips, clatters against the tile. He curses under his breath, grabs it, shoves it into the lock, click. The bolt slides into place just as you reach the threshold. But the locked door doesn't stop you. As if it would. Is he stupid? You step forward and walk right through it. Figured this would happen. The hallway is dim and empty except for Ethan, who is already halfway down it. His movements are sharp, rushed. His hand is still in his pocket, clenching around whatever he took from you. His breath is shallow, but he isn't stopping. He keeps walking, like if he just pretends hard enough that you aren't real. You'll disappear. But you don't disappear. You keep following. He knows you are behind him, but he doesn't dare to look over his shoulder. He shoves open the exit door, stepping out into the cold night air. The city hums into distance, cars passing, neon lights blinking, life continuing as if nothing has changed. But for you, everything has. So Ashenville, a suburb a few miles from the East Coast, used to be a ghost town before the turn of the century and the dot-com boom. Ethan walks like a man trying to outrun his own shadow. His pace is steady, too deliberate, too forceful. Yeah, I don't think this one is a romantic one. No. I think this one is more like a thriller. Okay? Yeah, I think it's more like that. I'm usually doing the romantic ones, but this one I was like, let's see it, something different for the channel too. The space between you isn't much, it's just a few steps, close enough for him to feel it. Close enough that when he glances at his reflection in a passing window, he sees you. You wonder if it makes his stomach twist the way yours does. Still, he says nothing, no acknowledgement, no denial, just control, like if he ignores you long enough, if he focuses on putting one foot in front of the other, if he refuses to see you, maybe you'll disappear. But you don't, of course. You know he can hear you, every shift or movement, every footstep. You aren't even trying to be quiet. And yet, nothing. You narrow your eyes, fine. You'll remind him if he wants to pretend you don't exist. You pick up your pace, stepping directly in his path, cutting him off. He halts, barely avoiding walking through you. His body dances. That same sharp inhale, the exact moment of hesitation, the way his fingers curl tighter into his pockets like he's fighting the urge to react. He doesn't meet your eyes. Then he steps around you and keeps walking. Your stomach twists. It's not fear, not grief, it's rage. You quickly tail behind him. The silence is unbearable. Ethan keeps walking, pretending and acting like you aren't right here. Like you don't exist, like he didn't just see you standing in the street staring back at him, like you aren't following him through the streets step for step, waiting for him to acknowledge what he did. Murder or involuntary manslaughter. If it's murder, that's at least 20 years without parole, which is kind of like funny, right? Yesterday, I was like seeing something. I was just like watching a video, and like this thing of like we have these morals and ethics, and sometimes it's like you are moved by justice or religion, and it's good that we have that. Okay, it's good because we shouldn't be murdering people, but it's kind of funny in a certain way that you can just end someone else's life, and then you get, imagine, oh, you are guilty, and then you get like 20 years, and then you appeal, and then you get only 50, and then you appeal again and you only get 10. And imagine you just ended someone else's life, and you end up only with 10 years of your life being cock-blocked, basically, in a prison. Like, when we think about this, isn't this like something out of this world? Honestly, it's like, I was like looking at it and I was like, when we think about it, like we get so restrained sometimes of like, I want to murder this person, but I'm not, because, you know, I don't want to go to jail and I don't want to for the rest of my life. And when you look at this, and then you start seeing, oh, then I appeal, then I only get 10, then like, because many times it happens, like the prisons are so full of people that they start like, oh, then you only get 8, and then you are outside. It's like, honestly, it's something out of this world, because you depraved someone of living a life, and this is the type of justice that we have. It's something out. But then, I mean, if we really think about it in another whole way, which is like, there's also the other counterpart, let's call it, which is you might get in jail for something that you are innocent. Okay, there are people in jail that are actually innocent. They never committed nothing, and they were like an scapegoat or something. Do you understand? And yeah, getting all of those years, it's cruel. So would we think about like, no, this person killed, so he needs to be killed too? That would be justice. But at the same time, how would you prove that? You know, we would only like, it would make sense if we were completely certain that it was that person. Otherwise, I mean, right? I don't know. But it's pathetic, yeah, when we think about it, like the 10 years kind of thing is like pathetic, honestly. And he won't even look at you. He won't say a word. He just keeps walking. You let him walk, you let him ignore you, you can let him pretend for a while that maybe you aren't really there. Yeah, of course, it depends where you are. I'm talking like in general. I'm talking in general in most places around the world. You get like, you end up just getting 10 years because you appeal and all of it, you end up with just 10 years. Of course, like laws are different from place to place. But it won't last. It can't. Because the longer you follow, the more the anger builds. It crawls up your spine, hot and thick and suffocating, filling the empty spaces where your heartbeat used to be. You are dead. You are dead, and he did it. And now he's walking like it doesn't matter, like he didn't just shove your body into a cabinet. Your hands clutch at your sides. No heartbeat. No breath. No warmth left in your body, but you still feel this. Suddenly you are then waiting. Why? Ethan doesn't react. He keeps walking, keeps pretending. That makes it worse. Something inside you snaps. Say something. Your voice rings through the empty street, sharp, furious. Ethan flinches barely, but it's enough. You see it. His breath stutters, but he keeps moving. You saw me back there, didn't you? Nothing, no reaction, just that same stiff, careful walk, like he's trying to make himself small, like if he doesn't respond, this moment won't be real. You killed me. Ethan's pace hitches for a fraction of a second, but still he says nothing. You grit your teeth, something white hot burning under your skin. Why won't he say anything? Why is he still pretending? Like none of this matters, like you don't matter. What did I ever do to you? You step closer, keeping pace behind him, refusing to be ignored. You are yelling, your voice raw and demanding, but you don't care. He owes you this. He owes you everything. I thought you cut yourself off, breath catching in your throat before the words finish leaving your mouth. Something about them feels wrong. But it's too late. You already said it. You already let it slip. I thought you loved me. Ethan stares straight ahead, his jaw clenched so tight you think his teeth might break. It can hurt you if he did. Though he can no longer admit this to himself now, it's easier that way. It's easier if you never mattered. His hands are shaking, shoved deep into his pockets. He doesn't stop walking, doesn't speak, he doesn't even look at you. And that makes it worse. Because now, more than anything, you remember him. You remember the late nights, the long shifts, and how he looked at you. You remember how his voice sounded when he said your name, how he always pretended not to care, though you were pretty sure he did. You remember thinking he was safe. You remember trusting him. And that pisses you off. Your hands curl into fists at your sides, frustration buzzing through you, restless and uncontainable. You don't care if he talks now. You don't care if he answers. You just want him to feel this. You shove him. Your hands barely make contact before they phase right through him. You knew you wouldn't be able to touch him, but you curse in rage nonetheless. You glare at him, shaking, chest tied with anger. Say something, you coward. Nothing. Not even a twitch of his expression. Fine. If he won't talk, you'll make his life hell. You aren't leaving him alone. Not until he answers you. So, Myosotis, my life is not yours to take. You trail him across campus, past the quiet streets, past people who can see you. It doesn't matter, he can. When he finally reaches his dorm, he doesn't hesitate. He pushes the door open, steps inside, and lets it slam shut behind him. You step right through it, slipping inside as if the walls mean nothing. Ethan moves like a man trying to stay in control. Slow, deliberate, he doesn't look at you. He just shrugs off his coat, throws it onto the chair by his desk, and rubs a hand over his face like he can wipe away the weight pressing down on him. He doesn't deserve a moment of peace. You step forward and swipe at the nearest thing you can reach, a notebook, a pen, anything. It barely moves, just a weak shuffle across the desk. You grit your teeth, focus harder, shove at something else. A small plastic container tips over, a few coins scattering into the surface. The effort drains you immediately, a sudden sharp pull of energy from somewhere deep inside. You feel it in your fingertips, in the static hum of your body. Kind of weird that we are ghosts and we are feeling things. Ethan stops. Not a big reaction, not even much of one at all. You needed to do something more. You grit your teeth and do it again. Another pen, a book shifting slightly on the desk, a water bottle knocked onto its side, rolling across the wood. You feel each action deep in your core, like pulling at invisible strings, like stretching something that doesn't want to bend. You know you've reached your limit tonight, but nonetheless your eyes flicker back up to Ethan's form, watching his reaction. Just like before, he ignores it. Nothing new, strange. He doesn't even seem surprised that you can move objects. He steps past the desk and sits on the bed, staring blankly at the wall, at nothing, at anything but you. His posture stays stiff, too rigid, too controlled, but he doesn't speak, he won't. The worst part, you can't even touch him, you can shake him, you can make him feel the way he made you feel. No matter how much anger burns through you, he still has the power to ignore you. Ethan doesn't last long before exhaustion catches up to him. Unlike you, he still needs his rest. But he doesn't rest peacefully. At first, he's still, too still. His breathing is even, controlled, but it doesn't last. After a while, he starts to shift. He tosses one, then again, his body twisting beneath the sheets, his face pinches, tenses, he's having a nightmare. You step closer, arms crossed, gaze locked on him. What could he possibly have nightmares about? He killed you. He's been ignoring you. He spent every second since your death pretending nothing is wrong, that his hands aren't soaked in guilt. So why does he look like this now? A part of you is hoping, praying it's about you, that the weight of your death is finally weighing on him. His brows pull together, breath sharp, murmuring something under his breath. The words are too soft, too jumbled to make out, but his hands twitch like he's reaching for something. His head shakes slightly against a pillow, his jaw tightening before he turns onto his side. His body curling inward like he's trying to make himself small. His breathing isn't steady anymore, it's quick, shallow, and steady. Then a choked, barely there sound almost like a gasp. His hands grip the blanket, knuckles right. He mutters something again, but it's a little clearer this time. A single word, a name maybe. Recurring nightmare. Whatever is eating at him has had its grip for a long time. This is the cost of self-control. A fever of the heart, the slow knife. No, not a name, just a whisper of something raw, something afraid. No. Your stomach twists. It's not about you. Whatever he's seeing, whatever his mind is playing for him over and over again, it's not you. It's something else, something older, something deeper, and you have no idea what it is. He shifts again. Breath catching, shoulders rising and falling too fast. You take another step forward, staring down at him. You should feel satisfied. He deserves this. He deserves worse. But you wonder what he's actually afraid of and why it isn't you. Damn, for the first time in your relationship, you are the jealous one. Maybe I'm the freak. No, wait, he literally killed you. Never mind. Yeah, I also think that it fits more if our protagonist is a male character. Yeah, I do think it fits more. But I think it's open, it's kind of neutral, you can think about it in the way that you want to. The next morning, Ethan gets up without a word. No reaction to the night before, no sign that he remembers the way he dressed in his sleep, muttering things he'll never say out loud. He just goes through the motions like nothing has changed. He doesn't talk, he doesn't text, he doesn't call anyone, he just exists. Automaton. The robot moves its program on autopilot, and Ethan is so small within himself that even the robot no longer registers his presence. You follow him as he moves to the bathroom, only giving him grace to shower and return as he is busy brushing his teeth. He doesn't look at the mirror, not directly. His gaze stays low, locked on the sink, avoiding his own reflection. Iron lung, but trapped within this steel titan, Ethan screams in terror like a man buried alive. I am also not the person to be looking at the mirror when I'm brushing my teeth. I just look at the sink. I don't know why I do it. Like, I think it's because I feel like I don't need a mirror for brushing my teeth, and I don't know. I am honestly not the type of person of like looking at a mirror all the time. So I don't feel the necessity of like looking at the mirror when I'm brushing my teeth. I just don't have that necessity. He changes clothes, grabs his bag, heads to campus. You are right there, step for step, watching everything. Watching him sit through lectures, take notes with a blank face, nod along as professors drone on. Watching him go through an entire day pretending he's just another student, like nothing is hanging over him. Like he isn't walking around with blood on his hands. Days like this continue on for a while, his routine almost identical to the one he had before he had murdered you, except Ethan isn't going to work. He's been skipping for the past few days. You notice it first when the time rolls around, when he should be heading to the morgue, when he should be settling in for another long shift under those awful flickering lights. But he doesn't. He doesn't even check his phone for messages. He would just idle around campus for a while before returning to his dorm and preparing for the next day. This day was the same. He just remained where he was, sitting on a bench outside one of the buildings, rubbing slow circles into his temples. So you take the opportunity to speak, sitting beside him on the bench. So, apparently, I'm going to do a save in here. Apparently, I am going to choose the sentences that are going to take us to the justice ending. But apparently, any other choices that you pick that are not the ones that I'm going to pick in here will take you to the revenge ending. Apparently, the revenge ending is just really easy to get, okay? It's just, you just need to give the wrong answers, okay? So, for the first one, we need to choose the try to get answers. And it needs to say this: reason tempers your rage. If it doesn't say that, you are going into the revenge ending, okay? Ignoring me won't make me go away. Ethan doesn't react. You could at least tell me why you did it. Still nothing, just that same careful, stiff silence. I just want to know, did I piss you off? Was it fun for you? Ethan's grip on his back tightens, knuckles going wide. His breathing is steady, controlled, too controlled. Then finally a shift in his gaze. Your words were not enough to break, but enough to crack. Stop. It's just one word, but it's the first thing he said to you since the morgue. His voice is rough, pulled tight, not angry, not defensive, just exhausted. That means you are getting to him. You tilt your head watching him. It would be easy to gloat, to remind him that you don't need anything from him. He's the one who took everything from you. But instead, the question sits in the air between you, heavy, waiting for an answer. I don't think these ones are going to matter. Let me just see it. Yeah. So, did you love me? Why did you kill me? What's going on? Yeah, I think we want to know this one the most. But we could put it on another way. What's going on? Ethan's breath hitches. He wasn't expecting that one. His fingers twitch against his face before finally dragging his hands down, resting his arms on his knees instead. He exhales hard and breath, almost like a laugh. But it's not cold, it's just uneasy. White lies. What even is going on? Even he seems to be unsure. It all just got out of hand, he tells himself. He slightly shakes his head, like he doesn't believe you don't know. Then his eyes shift somewhat, not you, past you, behind you. You turn your head slightly, following his gaze, expecting to see something, someone. But there's nothing there, it's just you and him. The basilisk turns in its sleep. A jolt, a phantasm. You feel faint for a mere moment. For some reason, when it passes, your mind fixates on when you first met Ethan and the strange marks he had on his hands. And yet he looks so sure, like he knows he's not alone, like something else is there lurking just out of sight. Your stomach twists. Our phantom stomach twists. It's so funny when they put like these little things. But before you can say anything and demand what the hell he's looking at, Ethan shakes his head and mutters something under his breath, too soft to hear. Then he stands up, shoving his hands into his pockets and walks away. Like always, you follow him. The streets blur together. It's routine now, the same slow, silent walk, the same way he pretends you don't exist, the same way your presence coils around him like a second shadow. You take every chance to rattle him just because you can. He flinches and stiffens, but never speaks. But tonight, something is off. Ethan isn't just reacting to you anymore. He keeps checking over his shoulder despite you walking beside him. His pace is quick, not quite rushed, but close. His fingers twitched at his sides, his lips pressing into a thin line as he mutters something under his breath again. You can catch all of it, just a few words, quiet and shaky, repeated like a mantra. Not yet, not now, not ever. Ethan reaches his dorm, stepping inside without hesitation, without pause. He barely even bothers turning on the light, like he's moving on autopilot. The second the door swings shut behind him, he exhales a slow, heavy breath, like he's been holding it in the entire walk home. He kicks off his shoes, not even bothering to line them up like he usually does. His jacket slides from his shoulders, crumpling into a heap on the chair. Then, without so much as a second glance, he climbs into bed. That's it. No brushing his teeth, no checking his phone, nothing. Just immediate escape, burying himself in the sheets as if sleep would fix anything. Escape from an iron coffin to the nightly thralls. You scoff under your breath, coward. You step closer, watching the way his shoulders rise and fall with each breath, the tension still clinging to his body, even as exhaustion takes over. The inferno, like hands that won't let go. Even now, he doesn't look peaceful. His brow twitches, his fingers curl around the edge of the blanket, gripping it like it's the only thing anchoring him. I am kinda wondering, being honest, I am kind of wondering if these had an AI hand in the script. I am reading the same type of phrases over and over again, which is very much like an AI kind of thing. Let me just see if I can see if there's like we have apparently we do have a writer in here. Two writers. But I don't know, because I'm seeing a lot of the same, when you start seeing a lot of the same words repeating and repeating and repeating. And let me tell you something, because sometimes I have to work with AI, and the AI does a lot of that. So I'm kind of like start wondering. Something about it feels wrong, not in the way it should, not in the way you want it to. Then you notice it. At first you think it's a trick of the light, the shadows stretching at the edge of the room, flickering slightly in the dim glow of the city outside, but as your eyes adjust and focus, you see it clearly. A figure standing at the foot of his bed. Ophelia, pressure on the chest, muted, lungs full of water. Not the shadow of a tall lamp or hung clothes, a being just like you, a being that is staring at Ethan with an expression you can discern in the darkness, but it's there nonetheless. So we are not the only ghost in here around him. Maybe this is like another person that he killed. The figure at the end of Ethan's bed doesn't move. As your eyes adjust in the darkness, you finally read his expression. Without yearning. It wants nothing, not anymore. Desire to a phantom trapped in limbo is a beating heart roaming a dead world. There's no anger in his stance or hatred in how he looks at Ethan, just resignation. An eternity in limbo. You'll eventually give in to that same surrender had you not found another spirit to speak with. You frown, taking a step closer. He's young, around your age, a college student maybe. His clothes are nothing special, his posture slightly withdrawn. There's something unsettling familiar about him, but the thought passes as quickly as it comes. Maybe he's one of your friends. You don't focus on it. There are more important things to figure out. Who are you? The figure startles, jerking upright. His eyes go wide, his body tensing instantly as he looks straight at you. He wasn't expecting you to see him, not at all. He's shocked. More than that, he's confused. His mouth opens slightly, but nothing comes out. At first, he blinks once, twice, then finally manages to force out some words. You can see me? Okay, now we need to go with obviously. You give him a look, crossing your arms. What kind of question is that? Of course you can see him. You wouldn't have said anything if you could. Obviously. The figure hesitates, still thrown off, still staring at you like you are something that shouldn't exist, but after a second his lips press together, his shoulders sinking slightly like he's trying to figure out what to do next. You narrow your eyes, studying him. He still hasn't answered you. Who are you? You don't waste time. No jokes, no sarcasm. You want answers. You've spent too much time following Ethan around, yelling into silence, demanding things from a man who refuses to speak. You are not going to wait around for this guy to do the same. The figure blinks, clearly still caught off guard, but something about the way you ask seems to unsettle him more, like the question is heavier than you meant it to be. His gaze flickers to Ethan for half a second before returning to you. He hesitates. I don't know. You take a step forward, eyes narrowing. All right, then what do you remember? He exhales, his posture relaxing just a little. He doesn't answer right away, but after a pause, he takes a small step forward. His eyes meet yours, and for the first time, he really looks at you, not in shock, not in confusion, but in recognition. I remember him. His gaze shifts back to Ethan, still tangled in his sheets, breath slow, and even one moment, panicked the next. Then his attention turns back to you. I remember you. Your chest tightens, a strange weight settling there, one you weren't expecting. You don't know why, but something about the way he says it makes your mind start to race. Huh? I'm certain of it. The way his voice carries your name is soft and melodic, a tenderness he hasn't had when talking about Ethan. I remember you. You blink for a second, a bit of a blush creeping up on your cheeks. I'm sorry, I don't remember you. The ghost offers you a half laugh. It's okay. You have to refocus. Why are you following him? You tilt your head towards the bed, towards Ethan, still tangled in his sheets. Ethan. His shoulders tense, his hands curl into his sleeves, his breath pauses for just a second, his gaze drops for the briefest moment like he's thinking, like he's struggling with something. And then he looks at Ethan again, really looks at him. It's not the way you do, not with anger or hate or the overwhelming need for answers. It's something else, something troubled. His eyes flicker back to you. The hesitation is still there, but there's something behind it now, calculation, sadness, uncertainty. He killed me, as you could probably guess. His gaze flickers to you, then to Ethan. But I wasn't expecting this. The words that escape his mouth are genuine, and for some reason that makes you tense. He hesitates, his head tilting slightly, studying you with something too close to concern, like he's processing the fact that you are here, standing in front of him when you shouldn't be. 2. You are here with him in this quiet hell. Like it actually bothers him. You are that too. You go rigid. You hate the way he says it, the way his voice softens like it hurts him to know. Ethan hasn't looked at you like that, no, not once. But this guy, he does. And for some reason, that's worse. You swallow down the feelings, arms crossed as you force yourself to sound casual, shrugging like it's nothing. Yeah. Recently, actually, murdered by this douche. Douche. You say like douche? Douche, douche? I don't remember. I think it's douche, right? The ghost guy just stares at you, something unreadable behind his eyes, something tighter than before. Like that answer didn't just confirm something for him, like it broke something too. Your brows furrow. Yeah, I'm not good. I keep forgetting about those things. Well, you think like I keep swearing all the time? No, I don't. Even in my language, I don't. No, I don't. I am not that type of person. That surprised you. His lips press together briefly before he exhales, shaking his head slightly. No, I'm sorry. He lifts his gaze again, studying you, his expression shifting, his eyes flicker over your face, taking in your clenched fists, your squared shoulders, and your barely restrained anger. You are still angry. You scoff, shaking your head, something bitter curling at the edges of your voice. If you're still around, you must be too. He pauses, his face softens just slightly, then he exhales, gaze flickering down for a moment before he shakes his head. I was, but not anymore. That answer makes something in your chest twist. How could he not be? How could he just let go after everything? You stare at him, something tight, uneasy, restless, crawling up your spine. You don't know if you admire it or hate it. Let me just check. So you deserve to be. You mean it. You don't care what's changed, what time has looped. He should still be angry. He should still want answers, want justice. He doesn't argue with you. He just watches you for a long moment before giving you a small, quiet smile, not dismissive, just understanding. Maybe, but I'll rather help you with what you need. No, I will help you too. If you're not angry for yourself, then I'll be angry for you. He giggles. You are very stubborn. You smile as you sigh. I won't deny it. You extend your hand, inviting him to shake it. Nice to meet you. Doe? Like John Doe, but I don't like the idea of being called John. You better pray your real name isn't John. He shakes his head vehemently, clearly disliking the thought. Absolutely not. If I find out it is, I'm gonna possess some government guy and get it changed. Your eyes widen. You can do that? I wish. Oh man, you really hoped you could have done that. Yeah, of all the names. And my name is Doe, John Doe. Damn, you got my hopes up. Anyways, nice meeting you, Doe. Doe offers you a polite smile as you turn away from him to scan Ethan's room. You walk up to the desk and the closet, searching for clues, for anything. But there's nothing. No hidden notes, no secret letters, no scribbled confessions of guilt, nothing that says, I murdered you or I stole a life that wasn't mine. It's just the same ordinary mess of a college student. It pisses you off. Doe stands near the door, arms crossed, watching as you tear through the room. He doesn't say anything, not yet. He just observes, his eyes tracking your every movement as you throw open yet another drawer, rifling through its contents with growing impatience. This is like kind of weird at the same time because I feel my stomach twist and I can open the drawers and search, but I am a ghost. It's kind of like weird. This doesn't make sense. You push aside a stack of neatly folded shirts, running your fingers along the bottom of the drawer, feeling for anything out of place, a loose board, a hidden compartment, anything. But there's nothing, just fabric and dust and wasted time. What are you expecting to find? His voice is steady and measured, not doubtful, not dismissive, just curious, and something about that makes your irritation flare even harder. Something, anything. He killed me. He covered it up. There has to be proof of it somewhere. You slam the drawer shut and move on to the next. You don't care that it makes a loud, sharp sound against the room's quiet. You don't care that your hands are shaking slightly as you reach for the next thing, yanking a textbook off the shelf, flipping through the pages like you'll find some horrible, guilty secret scrawled in the margins. But of course, there's nothing. Doe takes a step closer, tilting his head slightly as he watches you, his expression unreadable. Would he be that careless? You freeze, fingers tightening around the book. You don't like that question because the answer is no, he wouldn't. Ethan has always been careful and controlled. He doesn't leave things to chance. He wouldn't leave evidence behind like some idiot in a bad movie. And that infuriates you because it means he's going to get away with it. Your breath comes out in a slow, shaky exhale as you shove the book back onto the shelf. There has to be something. He can't just... You shake your head, your voice harsh with frustration. People like him always slip up, always. Though he's quiet for a moment studying you, then he moves towards the desk, reaching down to pick up a few scattered papers, flipping through them with practiced ease. Some sort of bookworm. There's something clerical about the way he scans the pages, eyes darting through the words diagonally, his fingers separating the stack like bookmarks. Have you noticed anything different? You scoff, rubbing a hand down your face before dropping it to your side. Besides the fact that he's a lying piece of shit. A small breath of amusement escapes Doe's nose, but it's brief, gone in an instant as he sets the papers down and turns his attention entirely to you. Besides that, you think about it. You remember how he has been avoiding work, avoiding the cemetery, how he has been looking over his shoulder and muttering under his breath when he thinks no one's listening. You know it's not just because of you. 3. A whisper in his ear, a shadow over his face, and a knife at his back. There must be something else. You cross your arms, exhaling sharply. He's scared. Doe raises a brow. Of you? You open your mouth, ready to say yes, ready to confirm that your hunting is ruining Ethan's life. But it's not us. It's something else. And I don't even know if it's not connected to the Doe's killing, you know? But you stop, because the truth is he's just not afraid of you. If he were, he'll be reacting differently. You've been pushing, taunting, doing everything to make him snap, but he just shuts down, ignores you, pretends you don't exist. Whatever else is haunting him, that's what's making him crack. That's why he keeps looking over his shoulder. No, I wish. But he's scared of something else. Doe doesn't react at first. He just watches you, quiet and thoughtful, then slowly he nods. Maybe he's scared of me. You turn to rebuke him. Scared of Doe? Yes, that innocent smile, those twinkling eyes, and that fluffy hair truly is the thing of nightmares for any self-respecting macho man. I mean, we don't know who Doe is. Imagine, Doe could be some kind of ghost that is like wandering around Ethan, but it could be someone that Ethan didn't actually kill. Imagine, it could be like, I don't know, a friend, a sibling, someone that is kind of like haunting him for some kind of a trauma or something that happened. But that doesn't imply that Ethan actually killed him, okay? Because apparently Doe told us that, oh, he killed me. But Doe doesn't even remember his name. Okay, so maybe he just took it for granted that Ethan killed him, but we don't know, since he doesn't remember things. Okay, so I'm like, I don't know. But when you meet his gaze, it makes sense. The basilisk opens its eyes, nails digging into his palms, watering eyes, pleading for help, for mercy. A vision of Ethan's hands wrapped around Doe's throat pierces its way into your mind. Oh, okay. Images flash, sounds blare, some kind of sixth sense, like a basilisk thrashing in its wake, washes over your being and sobers your gaiety back into grief and horror. When the phantasm passes, all you remember is a fading memory of when you first met Ethan and the strange marks on his palms. Okay, so now we have the confirmation that he actually killed him. Now, reasons. Could Doe be a good guy, or did he kill him for reasons? Because, sometimes you get like these really cute, gentile types of guys, but you don't know what to expect from them. All those times Ethan was looking over his shoulder, muttering things, chances are that was because of Doe. Wait, yeah, because you were following him around too, right? Witness, does that mean Doe's seen you yell at Ethan this whole time? Oops. So he's probably scared of you. You smile, putting the pieces together. Missing jigsaw. So what does Doe scares Ethan more than you? So what about Doe scares Ethan more than you? What about Doe's death scares him, sends him into night terrors that yours doesn't? Yeah, that's why I was like thinking, could this Doe guy actually be like a really evil type of person, and that's why the other guy killed him? We don't know. That makes sense. Your short-term victorious mindset dissipates as you remember you still have no solid leads on anything. Damn. So we got one thing figured out, but no dice otherwise. Maybe we could visit the campus? Your eyes light up. Great idea, good thinking, Doe. Doe's cheeks tint pink and he looks away. I mean, I just said the obvious thing. As you realize he's right, you laugh a bit. Maybe I'm just stupid then. No, I didn't mean to imply that. You shrug it off as he attempts to backtrap, patting him on the shoulder. Don't worry, I know, I'm just playing around. Doe deflates in relief, turning to the door. When will we go? What do you mean? Like, investigate the campus? Now, obviously. You pull him through the door before he can protest, heading down the stairs and out of the building. The campus is quiet, the usual student crowds replaced by empty walkways and darkened windows. It's strange seeing it like this, hollow and lifeless, as if the entire place has been abandoned just for you. Doe walks beside you, hands shoved into his pockets. He glances around, eyes tracing the tall buildings. Finally, he sighs, giving you a sideways look. So, not to question your process or anything, but the college is closed. Nobody's here. You smirk, shrugging. That's the point. Doe raises an eyebrow, lips twitching upwards. Oh, right, because breaking into places is totally normal ghost behavior. Hey, if it works, it works. Besides, I used to sneak in here all the time with one of my friends. What? Well, more like stay super late, fall asleep, and then sneak out, but same thing. Doe looks shocked. There's no way you did that. What if you got caught? I wouldn't have. My friend had a lot of experience in sneaking in and out of places. They were one sneaky kid growing up too. You've had a bad influence in your life since childhood. No, I think I'm giving them some bad PR. Let me tell you about them, okay? Sighing, Doe gives you an accepting smile, gesturing you to speak. Their name is Avery, and we grew up together. They didn't get along with their parents, so they often hung out at my house, probably more often than they were at their own. Yeah, like imagine, that's what I was thinking too. Imagine that this Doe guy is like the ghost that is hunting Ethan to kind of act like a predator, to bring him ghosts for something that we still don't know. Because now we are talking about another friend of ours. Imagine that after, I'm just like building a story in here, but imagine that could be something like that. Since Ethan is so afraid of someone that actually could be Doe. Do you understand? Like, he could be like the dominant one and like, no, you need to get me ghosts because I don't know what he's going to do with ghosts. But we don't know. No, we don't know. And now we are talking about a friend of ours. Oh, this Avery person. And imagine that after he like takes care of us, he's like, oh, now he goes to Ethan and like, now you need to go after this other person. Yeah, I'm just creating a story in here. Like, maybe it has absolutely nothing to do with that, but I'm just like, it could be something like that. My mom really liked having Avery around, and my dad liked how protective they were of me. When I got picked on in middle school, Avery punched one of the bullies. That got us both lunch detection, haha. After a while, we became pretty inseparable. You pause, thinking about Avery for the first time in a while. I can't believe I haven't thought of them much since I died. I kind of feel like a trash friend now. You're not. You just died, so it's understandable. I bet Avery is wondering where you are. They seem like a good friend. Sorry for accusing them of being an evil, sneaky guy, huh? Ashenville Precinct. Dark circles under the eyes, a cocktail of fatigue and agitation that caffeine only aggravates. The man in blue speaks of runways and probabilities. Most disappearances turn cold after 48 hours. Avery's friend has been missing for 62. Oh. You laugh as Doe stumbles over his words. No, you were on the dot. They are an evil, sneaky guy. Come on, let's get back to searching. Doe chuckles, shaking his head as he follows you towards the main building. The doors are locked, but it doesn't matter. You walk straight through. The air chilling as you pass through solid glass and wood like it's nothing. Doe hesitates at the threshold before stepping forward, his form passing through just as easily. He exhales, rubbing the back of his neck. Yeah, that's never gonna feel weird. Never not gonna feel weird, sorry. You glance at him, raising an eyebrow. Still new to the whole being dead thing? No, I don't think so. I wouldn't say I'm new to it, just it still catches me off guard sometimes. Really? Ghost privileges. You start looking around. Doe joins you, flipping through the pages of a scattered student newspaper someone left behind. You pass by a classroom door, peeking inside, but nothing seems out of place. Until something does. You stop at one of the bulletin boards. Your gaze lands on a neatly pinned article. The headline jumps out at first, not because of what it says, but because of the name beneath it. You don't even read the article before you speak. Oh, would you look at that? Doe turns to you, confused, before following your gaze. His eyes widen slightly as he sees the name at the bottom of the page. Credited to Ethan Calloway. Your smirk grows as you gesture towards it. Guess our boy was a little overachiever, huh? Doe steps closer, scanning the page. His expression is unreadable, his brows furrowing as he studies the words carefully. The article is about something big. Ethan seems to have discovered more about Ashenville than what was taught in school. You watch him for a moment, then tilt your head. What you thinking about, ghost boy? Doe doesn't respond right away. His fingers twitch slightly before he finally exhales, his voice thoughtful. I don't know, I think I've read this before. You stare at him, his eyes are still locked in onto the page. Finally, he swallows, his voice quieter when he speaks again. I think I went here. You blink again, your smirk dropping slightly as you process that. What, this college? He nods slowly, dragging his fingers over the paper as if touching it will bring something back to him. Paraphantasm. Those eyes glaze over for a mere moment. For some reason, you just know Doe had one of those same sixth sense episodes you've been having. Yeah, I think I did. You cross your arms, raising an eyebrow. You think? He steps back, running a hand through his hair, his fingers gripping the strands like he's trying to keep himself grounded. My major was journalism, just like his. The words came out confident. They weren't even a thought before, but now that they are here, they feel right. He blinks, his eyes flicking up to meet yours, surprised at himself. A clicking sound. The first piece of his sense of self returns into its original position, and you are here to witness it. You tilt your head, watching him closely. This is the first time he's remembered something real. I am real. Days upon days of isolation have crystallized within Doe. Here in this moment, your presence and recognition melts it all away in an instant. You shift your weight, crossing your arms as you eye him. You sure about that? Doe lets out a slow breath, nodding once. Yeah, I am. The last of the bulletin boards offer nothing. The classrooms are empty. Even the library, a place you deem perfect to hide evidence, has nothing to offer. There are no answers here. You sigh, shoving your hands into your pockets as you step back. Well, that was a waste of time. Doe huffs a small laugh, tilting his head as he looks at you. Not a total waste. I remember something, didn't I? You glance at him. His expression is lighter than before, a small smile playing at the edges of his lips. There's something almost hopeful in it, like remembering something, even something as small as a college major, means something. Out of an aimless abyss. After weeks of aimlessness, a faceless ghost finally finds something to hold on to, something to ground him in material reality. The world regains its color. You roll your eyes, but don't argue. Yeah, good for you, ghost boy. At least one of you had answers. Doe laughs again, softer this time, shaking his head as he follows you towards the entrance. You step onto the street, your feet making no sound on the pavement. The air is crisp and cool, the street lights flickering softly at night. Of course, something feels off. Again. You slow your steps, waiting for it, the familiar pull, the invisible leash dragging you back whenever you stray too far from Ethan. It's been there since you woke up like this, tethering you to him, keeping you close. But now, it's gone. You stop completely frowning, you take another step forward, testing it. Nothing pulls you back. You go further, past the sidewalk, past the edge of where you know you've been able to go. Still nothing. No resistance. No unseen force yanking you back towards the dorm. Wait, what the hell? Doe stops beside you, his brows furrowing as he looks at you confused. What? You motion around, stepping even further just to prove your point. I'm not stuck. I can go wherever I want. That's not how it worked before. Doe's expression shifts, something thoughtful creeping in. He tilts his head, watching you take a few more steps, still unrestrained by whatever force tying you to Ethan before. Gravity. A ghost of fire and a ghost of ice, both wrapped in the chains of grief and tied to the past. You mean you were stuck before, like you couldn't leave? Yeah, every time I wander too far, I'll get pulled back like I was tied to him. You scowl at the thought, crossing your arms. You hate the idea that you were ever stuck with him, that even in death he had some kind of a hold on you. But now it's different. You can move freely. That's weird. I never had that issue. I could always come and go. Weird. I was always stuck. You meet Doe's gaze, searching for an answer in his expression. Why isn't that happening now? Doe looks down, rubbing the back of his neck. He doesn't answer right away. His brows knit together, deep in thought, like he's piecing something together. You wait, watching him as his fingers twitch against his sleeve as his lips press into a thin line. Then, after a long pause, he exhales slowly, his voice quieter when he finally speaks. Maybe because we are together? You blink at him. What? He looks up again, meeting your gaze, his expression unreadable. There's no hesitation this time, just quiet certainty. Maybe it's because we are both connected to him in some way, You nod slowly, the unbreakable chain between you, the constant pull forcing you back to him. But now Doe is here, like in the visible sense. So what, are you saying we cancel each other out or something? Doe lets out a small chuckle, shaking his head. Not exactly, but maybe, I don't know, maybe our connection to him balances things out like two forces pulling in different directions instead of just one. Cardinal north. The confinement of the morgue pulls you in. Your body is still in that cramped compartment, and your spirit feels the effect of its enclosure. Meanwhile, those bodies somewhere else. You roll your eyes, exhaling sharply. That's the nerdiest way you could have explained that. Doe grins. Journalism major, remember, I have to sound smart sometimes. Doe watches you, waiting for your reaction. His explanation makes sense, or at least as much sense as anything does, when you're dead and trying to solve your own murder. He shifts slightly, hands still in his pockets, shoulders slightly hunched like he's bracing for you to dismiss his theory entirely. You huff, shaking your head, but you don't argue, because as ridiculous as it sounds, it makes sense. You both connected to Ethan. You both have some kind of unfinished story tied to him. Okay, this one, they tell us that we can choose which one we want, but to fit the ending, they are telling us to choose the maybe we are soulmates. You grin, rocking back on your heels slightly, watching him with deliberate amusement. Or maybe we are soulmates. Doe blinks. His expression freezes, his mouth opens slightly like he wants to respond, but then he just doesn't. The corners of his ears turn red. You step forward tentatively, leaning in. What, don't believe in fate? Doe lets out the world's most awkward laugh. He rubs the back of his neck, looking away like the distant buildings suddenly hold the most interesting sights imaginable. Fate's a strong word. I wasn't expecting that at all. You smirk, pleased with yourself. Well, neither of us expected to be murdered either, but here we are. Doe groans, dragging a hand over his face. Oh my god. You laugh, it feels good, a moment of actual normalcy in all of this. He doesn't take it badly, honestly, from what you could tell. There was a hint of a smile behind the hands that hid his face. You glance back at the street, staring at the wide open path ahead, the possibilities stretching further than ever. You could leave now, you could go anywhere. You're not chained anymore. I don't know, maybe I am chained to him or something. I'm still next to him. But you don't leave, neither of you do. Then a glow catches your eye. It's initially subtle, just the faintest sliver of warm color creeping up behind the skyline. A soft golden bleeding into the deep purples and blues of the night, the first hint of sunrise. Do sees it too. He tilts his head, watching as the sky changes, the way the edges of the clouds begin to glow. He stares, his lips parting slightly, something unreadable flicking across his face. The sunrise. You glance at him. Hasn't seen one in a while? Do lets out a breath of laugh, shaking his head slightly. Not like this. You remind me of it. He whispered quietly, as if to not say it to you, but to himself. Really? Startling a bit, he looks away from you. Yeah, the sunrise always feels like potential, warmth, and inviting aura. Do pauses. We should return before Ethan wakes up. Don't want him getting suspicious. Besides, we need to watch him and figure out what the hell is going on. You don't want him getting suspicious. Besides, you still need to watch him and understand what the hell is going on. Yeah, let's go. The two of you turn, retracing your steps back towards the dorms. The streets are still empty, and the quietness of early morning is strangely eerie. It's a time most people don't see, too late for the night, too early for the morning. The dorm building comes into view, its windows reflecting the slow sunrise, still half asleep, much like the students inside. You are about to step through the doors when movement catches your eye. A figure. Dressed in all black, moving carefully and slipping out of the building as if trying not to be seen. You stop immediately, your breath stilling, not that it matters anymore. Do follows your gaze, eyes narrowing slightly as he registers the person leaving the dorms. Who the hell? The figure doesn't look back. Given the time, you haven't gotten much of it to loiter, so you are forced to brush it off and continue to Ethan's room. He's already stirring earlier than usual. He moves slowly, mechanically, like his mind is somewhere else entirely as he gets out of bed, grabs his bag, and heads out of the door. You and Do follow. It's routine now, following Ethan through the motions of his day, watching how he carries himself, searching for something out of place. But today, you've noticed something. Ethan is tense, not in the same way as before, not the usual cold, controlled, careful way he holds himself together. This is different. His shoulders are tight, his steps are a little too fast, his head turning slightly, occasionally, like he's checking something. Text message sent 2 days ago at 5:12 p.m. Hey Ethan, noticed you didn't came in to work yesterday, just checking in. Things are a little weird here, but you know how it is. Anyways, text me when you can. See ya. Like he's looking for something, or like he's looking at something. At first you smirked, arms crossed as you kept pace beside him. Man, you must be getting to him. Do raises an eyebrow, glazing at you. What do you mean? Look at him, he keeps checking over his shoulder. Oh, text message sent yesterday at 8:43 p.m. Where have you been? Everyone at work is looking for you. The archive is locked. No one knows where the master key is. The cops came to ask questions twice this week. What happened? Ethan does it again. You watch him closely, grinning. You watch him closely, grinning as you step closer, leaning in as if he can hear you. Text message sent today at 3:37 a.m. 3:37 a.m. I spent the night at the police station with Avery. We kept asking if they had found any leads. Meanwhile, you are nowhere to be found. I know you've been going to class, Brick. Answer me ASAP. What's wrong, Ethan? I'm not hunting you enough. Nothing, no reaction. Of course not. Instead, he just keeps moving, and then the more you watch him, the more something strange catches your eye. He's not looking at you. You frown, tilting your head slightly. He checks over his shoulder again, and you follow the movement, expecting him to stare at the space you are taking up where he knows you are. But his gaze doesn't land there. It doesn't land on Doe either. Ethan is looking past both of you. Your stomach twists slightly, but you don't know why. Something about it makes the back of your mind itch, makes your skin, no, whatever you have left, crawl. Did you see that? His voice is quieter than before, more serious. You nod slowly, your smirk dropping as your arms fall to your sides. Yeah. You both go silent, watching. Ethan moves through campus over the course of hours, going through classes and passing by groups of students, all of them obviously oblivious to whatever the hell is wrong with him. He keeps checking. He keeps looking past you, glancing over his shoulder, scanning for something neither of you can see. He's afraid. But not of either of you. You exchange a glance with Doe. His face is unreadable, but you know he's thinking the same thing. Weird. Doe nods slowly, his lips pressing together into a thin line. Okay, people, give me just 1 minute because I have a situation here. But I'll be back. I'll be back. Okay, I'm here, back again. Sorry, it's like it's the usual thing. It's the stray cat outside. I forgot to feed her today, so because then she doesn't leave my door. It keeps meowing in here, and that's it. So let's continue. By the way, I'm going to just drink something. Okay. Doe nods slowly, his lips pressing together into a thin line. Yeah, weird. Eventually the sun sinks below the skyline, painting the city in deep oranges and purples. The long day comes to a close, and Ethan finally heads back to his dorm, still wound-tied, still looking over his shoulder. It's strange watching him go through his nightly routine and act like nothing is wrong when everything is wrong. Maybe I should do like another talking about it. Let's just do another save. Though must notice the tension in your shoulders because as Ethan finally settles into his bed, his voice cuts through the silence, calm and easy. You look like you're about to combust. You scoff, crossing your arms. Gee, thanks. Doe smirks but doesn't push it. He just leans back against the wall, thoughtful, watching you like he's trying to read something in your expression. So what's the next move? You hesitate, shifting your weight. That's the problem. You don't know. You've been following Ethan, waiting for something to happen, waiting for some massive reveal, but now things are more complicated than ever. You are free from your tether to him, but you are still here. Doesn't starting to remember things. Those starting to remember things, but only in pieces. And Ethan is scared of something that isn't you. Jealous much? You run a hand down your face before sighing, frustration curling in your chest. I have no idea. Doe hums, tilting his head slightly. Maybe that's the problem. You frown, looking at him. He doesn't say anything right away. He just watches you, thoughtful, patient, like he's waiting for you to catch up. When you don't, he exhales, straightening up. You are stressing yourself out. You raise an eyebrow at him. Oh, sorry, I didn't realize I wasn't allowed to be pissed off about being murdered. Doe chuckles softly, shaking his head. You know that's not what I mean. You glare, waiting for him to get to the point. He gestures towards the door, the campus outside, and anything that isn't this cramped, suffocating dorm. Come on, let's go somewhere, clear our heads. You blink. That was not what you were expecting. You were expecting some profound revelation or realization, but instead he just wants to take a break. You open your mouth, ready to argue, ready to say that you don't have time for this, but then you realize something. You are tense. Your fists have been clenched for hours. Your mind keeps circling the same damn thoughts over and over and over like it's eating itself alive. You've been running at full speed towards answers but still haven't found them. Doe may have a point. You huff, rolling your eyes, but you don't argue. Instead, you shove your hands in your pockets, exhaling slowly. Fine, where to, ghost boy? How about a park? You snort. That's your big idea? You want to go sit on a bench and feed pigeons or something? Doe grins. Well, you seem like you need something to hit, so maybe you can just fight a tree instead. You roll your eyes, but you don't argue. A park sounds nice. Open space, quiet, a chance to stop suffocating in Ethan's shadow for 5 minutes. You tilt your head towards the door. Fine, let's go. Doe nods, and you both head out, slipping through the door with ease, but the second you do, you stop. There's someone outside Ethan's room. A figure dressed in black hunched near the door. At first you think maybe it's some idiot trying to break in and steal something. But then you realize they are not trying to get in. They are peering through the keyhole, whispering something under their breath, low and urgent. Twin flames, you are not the only one who has counted days in quiet fury. Fury? Not furry. You know how I am. You know I don't pronounce the things exactly as I should. You and Doe both freeze. Your eyes narrow, your body instinctively tensing. What the hell? Doe shifts beside you, his expression sharp, watching the figure closely. What are they saying? You try to listen, straining to catch any words, but it's too soft, just barely out of reach. But the tone, it's wrong. Low and fast, not like someone trying to cast a spell or anything ridiculous, but someone desperate. Someone talking to themselves, repeating something over and over. Their head snaps you. You feel your stomach drop as they stop whispering and slowly, carefully turn their head towards the hallway. But there's nothing to see. You and Doe are invisible, unseen, unheard. And yet, the figure hesitates. Then, without a word, they bolt. They disappear down the hall, moving quickly, silent footsteps fading. You and Do stare after them, a thick silence settling between you. Okay, that wasn't creepy at all. Do exhales, shaking his head slightly. Should we follow them? You consider it. You really, really consider it, but then you glance back at Ethan's room. You don't know what that person was doing, but it wasn't good. Still, you can tell if chasing them right now will get you closer to the necessary answers, but you have already decided to take a break, and honestly, you still need it. You let out a breath, shaking your head. No, let's stick to the plan. We can deal with this later. Do doesn't argue, he just nods, glancing at the hallway before the two of you sleep outside. The air is crisp, the world wide open. You let yourself enjoy the freedom, even if it won't last. The city stretches behind you, but in the quiet of the park, it feels like another world entirely. The sound of distant traffic fades into nothing, the soft rustling of trees replacing the constant hum of urban life. Do walks a little slower, his shoulders looser than before. You hop up onto the fountain's stone edge, balancing with your arms outstretched like a tightrope walker. Do you think I could still fall in? Do glances up at you, his brow raising slightly in amusement. That depends. Do ghosts have balance? Guess we're about to find out. You take an exaggerated step forward, pretending to stumble. For a moment, you think you might tip forward, that maybe gravity still has a hold on you, but nothing happens. Your body isn't yours anymore. The world doesn't touch you the way it used to. You don't make waves. You don't make a sound. You don't make an impact. But Do laughs anyway. It's soft at first, just a tiny chuckle under his breath, but then it becomes more fundamental. You glance over at him and he's smiling, really smiling. Orange glow. Sheets of ice around the boy's heart melt away. Apathy and resignation reside, giving way to a timid gentleness, bare skin in the summer sun after a long winter. Not that soft, careful expression you've seen before, not like he's trying to comfort you or watching his words. This is different. It's easy and restrained. You step down from the fountain edge, stretching your arms behind your head before flopping into a nearby bench, staring at the sky. Man, I almost forgot what it's like to just chill. Do hums, stepping closer before sitting down at the opposite end of the bench. He leans back, eyes half lidded, watching the tree branches sway overhead. Yeah, it's nice. There's a long pause, a comfortable one. You almost let yourself sink into it, almost let yourself forget what you are, what happened, and everything keeping you tied to this place. Then Do exhales slowly, and when you glance at him, his expression has shifted again. He's thinking, you can tell. His gaze is distant, focused on something that isn't here. Brooding, but freed from the frost, rage, grief, and the promise of a future that will never come. Dark, deep-rooted emotions once buried come to resurface like black serpents coiling within Do's mind, casting shadows over his face. You hesitate. Part of you wants to ask him about it. What do you remember? But another part of you doesn't. Not yet. Not when this moment still feels light. You don't want to ruin it just yet. So instead you smirk, tilting your head towards him. I didn't peg you for the type who enjoys sitting around in a park. Do blinks, pulled from his thoughts. He raises an eyebrow. Oh yeah? What type did you peg me for? I don't know, you've got that whole I think too much energy. I figure if I ever saw you in a park, you'll be one of those guys writing in a journal and drinking some overpriced coffee, contemplating life or some shit. Do lets out a surprised laugh, shaking his head. Okay, first of all, ouch. Second of all, that's not that far off. You grin as he shakes his head. Again, more amused than offended, he leans back against the bench, stretching his arms slightly before resting them behind his head. But for the record, my coffee was never overpriced. I worked at the supermarket. It has its benefits. So you admit you had a journal? Doe huffs, rolling his eyes. Maybe. Blink and you miss it. Years of life buried in books, wasted. Years of academic hardship and constant belittlement, wasted. Years of a reserved disposition and a tendency not to bother others, wasted. You chuckle, shaking your head as you stretch across the bench, letting your fingers ghost over the surface. Ironic. Doe must catch something in your expression because he shifts slightly, observing you. Do you ever think about what it feels like before? You glance at him, frowning slightly. Before? Doe nods, looking down at his hands, fingers flexing slightly like he's trying to remember what it was like to hold something. Nerve response. 10 miles away in a neighboring city inside a small second-story apartment, a young woman's fingers twitch reflexively. A childhood memory washes over her. A game of catch with her little brother. They don't talk anymore. Her choice. Yet, now she wonders if he is well and what he is up to, unaware that his decomposing body lays in a forest covered in moss and maggots. I don't know, just existing, feeling things. I try to remember what the sun felt on my skin, but it's weird. It's like I know it was warm, but I don't actually remember the feeling. His voice is quiet, almost absent-minded. You stare at him momentarily, then let out a slow breath. Yeah, I get that. You glance up at the sky again. It's strange how the world keeps moving without you. The way the sun still rises, the wind still moves, and the city still breathes like nothing ever changed. Like you were never even here. Like nothing. Like Doe's only college friend never invited him out to the park and into the woods. Like that friend never grew jealous of some imagined academic excellence Doe possessed. Like that friend never wrapped his hands around Doe's throat and watched the life leave his eyes. Okay, so they were friends. And they were at college too. Kind of weird, isn't it? Because we are still in college. So not a lot of time has passed between one and the other, right? Probably. I don't know. Doe shifts beside you, voice softer when he speaks again. What do you think we are supposed to do? You turn your head towards him. Supposed to what? Supposed to hurt him or bring him to justice or just to let it go? That makes you pause. Let go? You don't know. You haven't even let yourself think about it. What does it mean to let go? Would that make you disappear? Would it change anything? Could you even let go when you still don't have answers? So we are doing the justice one. So I want justice. I want justice personally. Doe doesn't push for an explanation. He just nods, exhaling slowly, watching as the trees sway in the morning breeze. What do you want? I want to remember my name, my life outside of my death. I've actually put together some things, but I don't remember my childhood, nothing about growing up. Just death and college. Oh. Is there even any point to it? I'm dead. It doesn't really matter anymore. You don't have an answer for him. Instead, your eyes search around in lieu of your brain trying to solve his problem. Why don't we go to the cemetery? Do nods, standing up to follow you. The cemetery looms ahead, quiet and still, where souls go to rest. You're not sure why you suggested the cemetery. A simple gut feeling called to you. He dries his tears, you want to help him, and your gut tells you the cemetery will mend his broken spirit. Yeah, because, apparently his body is not at a cemetery. And even his family also doesn't even know that he's dead. So he's not going to find any identification in there. So I don't know. The iron gates stand open, the path leading inside lined with old trees, their branches twisting like outstretched hands. This is where you used to work. This is where you spent hours wandering before you died. And now you are walking through it with someone just as dead as you. Beside you, though, hesitates at the entrance. It's subtle, but you catch the way his step falters just slightly. You stop walking, tilting your head slightly as you glance at him. You good? Joe blinks like you just pulled him out of a thought he didn't realize he was having. He exhales, rubbing the back of his neck before shaking his head. Yeah, just weird being back here, I guess. He steps forward, pushing through the gates, forcing himself inside. He doesn't wait for you, he just moves, his shoulders stiff and his jaw set. He just keeps walking. You follow, your footsteps silent against the dirt path. The air is still thick, not with grief, not precisely. It's the weight of memory of all the lives laid to rest here, of all the people who still exist in some way because they have names carved in stone. Proof that they matter, though doesn't have that, and that's why you are here. Doe moves slowly, scanning each grave as you pass. His eyes flick from name to name, searching, waiting for something to click. You watch him, arms crossed, waiting for that moment, waiting for recognition to light up his face, for him to stop and say, "This is it. This is me." But that moment never comes. Like, he wouldn't have that recognition, right? You pass old graves with names that have long since faded, past newer ones with fresh dirt still settling into the earth. The whole time, Doe doesn't say a word. He just looks and looks and looks. Like, he could just look at the names and maybe recognize one of the names. Like, for instance, passes by Rick, and he's like, "Oh, my name was Rick, actually." In that way, yeah, it could help, but I don't see it in another way, though. And then eventually he stops. Not because he's found something, not because something clicks, but because he knows just as much as you do that there's nothing here. There's no headstone with his name, no marker of his existence, nothing. It's like he was never here at all. Doe exhales slowly, his shoulders sinking as he stares at a blank patch of grass between two graves. He lets out a short, humorless laugh, shaking his head slightly. Restless, he's looking for his own grave, a sign that he lived, passed away, and was mourned. He finds none. Guess that would have been too easy, huh? You don't say anything at first. He doesn't look angry, just tired. He lets himself hope for something, even for a second, and now that hope settles into disappointment. You bump your shoulder against his. Well, look at it this way. You can definitely go by John Doe. Doe huffs out a small laugh, shaking his head. Right, yeah, that's a weird kind of freedom, I guess. But his smile doesn't last. It lingers for a second, then fades at the edges like it was never fully there. You see it in his eyes, the sadness buried underneath, the quiet ache of not knowing. No name, no past, no certainty. Just fragments of memories slipping through his fingers like sand. John Doe, you are the only thing grounding him to reality at the moment. Having a name, even a temporary one, is enough to prevent his complete shutdown. It's kind of weird because we can remember everything and he doesn't remember nothing. Why is that? He runs a hand through his hair, exhaling slowly before looking at you again. Yeah, because I was even thinking, like, oh, maybe he was dead for a really, really, really long time. But apparently, his death came while Ethan was in college, and apparently Ethan is still in college as a student. So I'm like, okay, so it wasn't that long ago, right? So why did he lost his memories? So what now? Your gaze flickers towards the edge of the cemetery where the trees stretch towards the sky, their branches swaying slightly in the wind. There's a trail there leading into the forest. A quiet place to think, a place to breathe, if either of you could still do that. Or would something busier be better? The city is alive beyond the cemetery gates, and the streets are full with people going about their night. Downtown isn't fair. Maybe the noise, the movement, the life will help pull Doe out of his head for a little while. But then there's another thought. It's a colder one. The morgue. If you want answers, to know the truth, that's where they are. The place where your body was last seen. You could go there now. Maybe there's something you missed. Perhaps it's time to stop avoiding it. You cross your arms, glancing at Doe, which is kind of like curious too, which is like Ethan stopped going in there. Was it because we are always with him and he doesn't want us to find something in the morgue? We don't know. We have a few options. Doe raises an eyebrow, waiting. We could take a walk in the forest, clear our heads, figure out what to do next. You nod towards the tree line, watching as Doe follows your gaze. His expression stays unreadable. Or we could go downtown, see if anything jogs your memory. His lips press together slightly, thoughtful, but he doesn't answer immediately. You take a breath, knowing the next option is the real one that matters. Or we could go to the morgue. Doe tenses slightly, it's not much. His expression darkens just a bit, the ghost of a frown settling in before he smooths it over. You wait, letting the options settle between you. Eventually, Doe tilts his head, considering. Your call, partner. You roll your eyes at that, but you can't help the slight smirk that tugs at the corner of your lips. Don't call me that. Doe just grins. Too late. So you shake your head, exhaling slowly as you make your choice. This decision may seal your fate. Let me check it because I don't remember. So, okay. Maybe this one is important for me to save it so we can go back and do the other ending, So let's walk in the forest. You decide on the forest. The trees sway with the wind, their leaves whispering in a language you can quite understand. Sunlight filters through the branches in uneven patches, painting the dirt path in streaks of gold and shadow. There's something almost peaceful about it. You know you made the right choice. The basilisk snarls at you, and yet you are on edge, or rather Doe is. Your sixth sense is picking up on this subtle feeling and mistaking it as your own. You and Doe step forward, moving deeper, leaving the cemetery behind. Which way do you go? Okay, now we need to do this in the correct way. So go right. You look at Doe. He doesn't say anything, just watches you, waiting for your decision. You exhale and nod towards the right. Let's go this way. Doe doesn't argue, he just follows. The deeper you go, the more the air changes. It's subtle at first, it's just a shift, a slight temperature difference. The wind doesn't move as quickly here. The branches don't sway as much. Everything feels still. You stop at the crossroads, 3 paths stretching out ahead. Doe steps beside you, his gaze flickering from one path to the next. This place is starting to feel off. Yeah, I noticed. You glance at the path again. Which path now? I think it's like forward. Let me check. Yeah. Go forward. Come on. He follows without a word. The path narrows even more, branches reaching down like fingers trying to grab you. The ground beneath your feet is uneven and soft in places where the dirt has been disturbed. Something isn't right. The air is heavier here. I think it was right. Let me just check it again. Yes. You turn right again, walking a few paces. You consider turning back, but you smell something just as your feet shift. A foul, rotting stench. It hits you all at once, twisting around the back of your throat, making your nose wrinkle. It's thick, pungent, and natural. Do you smell that? Doe stops beside you. His eyes flicker to the ground ahead, to the uneven patch of dirt just beyond the trees. You follow his gaze. That patch of dirt is different. It's been disturbed, half covered with leaves, like someone tried to hide something and gave up halfway. Ophelia, pressure on the chest, muted, lungs full of dirt. You step forward, the smell growing stronger, pressing against you. It's coming from there, whatever is under that dirt, that's what's rotting. Doe doesn't move, he just stares at the spot, his hands twitching slightly. The basilisk opens its maw. You think you hear a voice beneath the earth, help. His expression has gone blank, like his mind has shut down. Your stomach churns, but you have to know, you have to see. You kneel, reaching out, fingers ghosting over the loose dirt, and it moves from under you, scattering away from your touch. The smell intensifies. It hits you like a punch to the gut, the overwhelming stench of death, decay, and something left to rot alone for far too long. You grit your teeth, forcing yourself to keep going, pushing aside dirt, pulling away leaves until you see it. A hand. Pale, shriveled, the skin scratched, tied over bone. Part of it is missing, stripped away by time, insects, or something else. Your breath catches and you keep digging, faster now, frantic. Dirt blows over fabric, over a sleeve, over a face, and then you stop. It's him, Doe. Doe is staring down at himself. His mouth opens slightly, but nothing comes out. He just stares. It's real, and suddenly everything is different. Doe. He takes a step back, just one. His expression stays frozen, but you can feel it, the way everything inside him has just snapped. The realization, the horror, the weight of it all pressing down at once. And you don't know what to say, because what the hell are you supposed to say to someone who just found their own grave? Though we need to... Oh my god. Oh my god. The morgue. The morgue, we need to... Doe turns around, running in the direction of the morgue. You chase after him, struggling to keep up. He doesn't slow when he reaches the door. Without hesitation, he walks straight through it, vanishing into the dim, sterile light beyond. You follow. The morgue is quiet. Doe is already searching. His movements are frantic, ripping open cabinets and pulling drawers loose. Your fingers skim through storage spaces, past files, past records, past things that should tell you nothing, but everything feels heavy with meaning. You know the evidence is here, it has to be. No. He doesn't stop. His hands move faster, shoving things aside without needing to touch anything, knocking over a tray in the process. The clatter echoes through the room, but neither of you react to it. You're too close now, too close to stop. Then your eyes fall on something. A bag. Nothing remarkable, nothing fancy, just a simple worn bag tucked into the back of the storage unit. You reach out, your fingers ghosting over the material before you pull it forward, unzipping it slowly. Inside there are items, personal belongings, things shoved inside carelessly, discarded like they no longer mattered, most notably old student IDs. You furrow your brows, pull them out, flipping through them, names, faces, all of them representing forgotten students who must have come through here at some point. Wait, one ID catches your attention. You move to grab it, half expecting it to fall out of your ghostly hands, but it doesn't. Your fingers tighten around it as you bring it closer, staring at the name, the photo, the piece of the puzzle that was missing until now. You freeze. Ethan Calloway. When you flip the ID over, you aren't met with Ethan's face. No, you are. Just not Ethan's. Those. You don't breathe. You don't move. This is wrong. So wrong. There's another one. Another ID. Another name. Jude Marshall. You frown confusion breaking through the aura building in your chest. Your hands shake as you turn the ID over, expecting what? Expecting a stranger's face, someone you don't recognize. But it's not a stranger. It's the face you've been following this whole time, the face you've spoken to, haunted, tormented, the face of the person you thought you knew, the face that was supposed to belong to Ethan. But it doesn't. Jude's face stares back at you. Everything slots together. Jude isn't Ethan. Jude killed Ethan. You don't notice that your hands have started shaking. The ID card in your grip feels heavier than it should. Though, or rather Ethan, hasn't spoken, not since you pulled the cards out. He stands beside you, staring. He saw the IDs as well. Now his eyes are back on you. Jude. The name is poison in your mouth. Ethan flinches slightly, his fingers twitching like he wants to grab the card but doesn't trust himself to move. Jude Marshall. The name feels foreign and familiar all at once. You know it now. you know him now. But it still doesn't feel real. You turn, looking at Ethan, really looking at him. His hands are clenched at his sides, his shoulders tense, his eyes locked back onto the student's ID, like they are a time bomb waiting to go off. And maybe they are. You don't finish, you don't have to. Yeah. That's all he says. You dated a liar, a murderer, a snake who had shed its skin and donned the flesh of another to pretend it was something it wasn't. The weight of it hits all at once, a crushing, sinking feeling in your chest. The memories, the moments, the way things never quite made sense. Ethan looks away, turning his back to you. His hands are shaking now, and he can't hide it anymore. I should have known sooner. Ethan. He pauses momentarily as you call out his real name, his eyes meeting yours as you gently coax him to turn around. I should have remembered. His voice cracks slightly, something raw and broken spilling out with the words. You don't know what you're supposed to say to someone who just realized they've been watching their own murderer wear their face. I promise to get you the justice you deserve. I don't know if we have another choice. Let me just see it. Oh, okay, we do have. Your grip around the IDs tightens as you turn to leave the morgue. You finally have something to scare Jude with, but you still feel a lingering emptiness. You keep running your fingers over the edges of Ethan's ID. You don't know if it's grounding you or cutting you open, maybe both. Ethan walks at your side silent. You're not sure if he's angry or grieving or empty like you. You don't know what to think, so you focus on returning to Jude's room. The dorms are dark by the time you get there. You stop just outside the building, staring up at the window. You can tell which one belongs to Jude from here, but he's up there. Ethan doesn't move first, he just watches you, waiting for you to take the lead. After a pause, you do, beginning your ascent up the old building and reaching Jude's door. It's unlocked. You walk through it. The room is dim, lit only by the faintest glow from the hallway. Jude's shape is easy to make out on the bed, curled towards the wall, one hand tucked beneath his pillow. He looks ordinary, peaceful even. You step inside and it only takes you a moment to realize you aren't alone. The hooded figure you've been seeing recently is inside Jude's room. Standing in front of Jude's dresser, pale fingers carefully sliding the drawers open one by one, quiet, meticulous, like they are searching for something. What the hell? Ethan's eyes, like yours, are fixed on them, watching their every movement. They are here again. You watch the way they move, hands gliding over every object like they already know where things are kept. Ethan edges closer, squinting as though he can force the shadows to peel back and reveal a face. I can't. His hands flex uselessly at his sides. I still can't see them. The figure's hood stays low over their head, shadows clinging to them like smoke, no face, no features, nothing. Whom? Like some kind of evil sneaky guy? They move to Jude's nightstand now, lifting a small journal and flipping through it, page by page. Their movements are precise, practiced, even. You glance back at Jude, still asleep. What are they doing here? I don't know. The figure finishes with the journal and sets it back in place exactly where they found it. Then they turn towards the bed, towards Jude. Ethan steps forward automatically, blocking the way even though it's obvious the figure can't see him. You grab his arm. Wait. This is it. Decide your fate. So place the IDs on Jude's nightstand. You step quietly towards the nightstand. The lamp flickers. The flame's reflection dances along the hooded figure arm as it continues its search, oblivious to you. This isn't your revenge. It isn't your place. But it could be justice. Your hand shakes slightly as you reach towards the nightstand by Jude's bed. You set the IDs down quietly, deliberately. They make a soft click against the wood. It's a small sound in the dark, but it's enough. The figure freezes, turning towards the nightstand. They stride towards the IDs with silent, sure steps. There's something almost reverent about the way their fingers close around them. Then Jude stirs. His eyes open, bleary and red-rimmed. He looks around, confused, his breathing shallow. Then he sees the hooded figure standing at his nightstand. And his face shifts. Who the fuck are you? And what the hell are you doing in here? The hooded figure doesn't answer. They take a step back and present the IDs, gripping them tightly. Jude's expression twists, instantly recognizing them. He knows what's happening, even if he doesn't understand how. Panic scrambles across his features like an insect skitters under his skin. Give those back. Jude snarls, lunging for the figure. The figure darts away, fast and practiced. Jude is wild now, unhinged, the same way he was when you figure it out. Come back, you don't know what you're doing. But the figure doesn't stop. They throw open the dorm door, and rush into the hall. Jude scrambles after them, barefoot and half-dressed, his face pale with fury. You hear him shouting as he runs, the echoes bouncing off the old wooden walls. Did I say wrong again? Yeah, probably. It comes out like that. You follow them out into the night. The air outside is sharp, smelling like rain that hasn't fallen yet. You watch the figure duck into the shadows beyond the courtyard. Jude lags now, slower. He curses under his breath, punching at the brick wall when he can't keep up. You drift further away from him towards the figure. They don't stop until they reach the edge of town. You realize where they are going. The police station. It makes sense in a way that feels heavy in your chest. You watch the figure step through the front doors. You linger there for a moment before you move closer, inside now. Standing by the desk, the figure slams the IDs down in front of the officer on duty. You hear their voice, sharp as a knife. You refuse to do anything without evidence, so here, identity thief. My friend is still out there, and you people stopped looking. The officer stares at them, then at the IDs. Recognition dawns on his tired face. His fingers move to pick up Ethan's ID first, turning it over carefully. Jude's comes next. Where did you get these? Dorm room, the one that used to belong to Ethan. You know, the real Ethan. The officer calls someone, another officer, and then another. The wheels start turning. Word spreads fast in a small town. By morning, there's a search party combing the woods behind the school. Officers sweep the dormitories, the lake is dredged, students whisper in clumps, wide-eyed, their voices hushed but frantic. It doesn't take long. They find Ethan's body beneath the roots of a gnarled old tree, hidden deep in the dirt like something someone tried to bury and forgot. But you can't bury a ghost, not really. You watch from a distance as they carry him out. You can't see his face, but you don't need to. You already said goodbye. The funeral is quiet. No family comes to claim him. You stand by the grave as they lower him down, dirt falling like soft rain. Someone places flowers at the marker. You're not sure who. It doesn't matter. He's home now. Jude is arrested 2 days later. The trial doesn't last long. There's too much evidence, too many mistakes. Taking Ethan's identity was his biggest one. Everyone believed he was Ethan until they found the real Ethan in the ground. The mask slips fast after that. Jude doesn't fight it, he just laughs sometimes, soft and broken. They lock him away. You visit the dormitory once after it's all over. The room is empty, cleaned out, but you can still feel the weight of what happened there. You don't stay long. Evening falls, slow tonight. The graveyard is quiet, the stones lean at odd angles, worn smooth by time and weather. The grass is soft beneath your shoes as you walk. The wind moves through the trees with a low, tired sigh. Ethan sits by his own grave. He's less pale now. Each day gives him back a little more of himself. He watches you approach with a small smile. You sit beside him. For a while, neither of you speak. The silence isn't heavy this time. It's easy, comfortable. After a while, you ask him a question. Do you have any regrets? Ethan looks down at his hands, his fingers brushed over the carved letters of his name on the stone. The flowers beside it are fresh. Only one. You glance over, he's smiling again, a little shy. I wish I'll ask you out back when I was alive. I mean, I had everything planned out. I had asked you to meet in a letter, but then he cuts himself off, sighing. You get the point. You blink, laughing after a moment. It's never too late. He glances at you, his expression shifts. He wasn't expecting that. And then he leans forward, picking up one of the flowers by his grave, a small, delicate thing, pale petals, edges just starting to curl. He offers it to you. In that case, would you? Ending 1, justice. So, yeah, my story didn't actually happen because I was like, maybe it could be like some kind of thing like that. What I realized at the end was that the John Doe was actually us, because he put us in a cabinet without any type of identification, and we are probably going to be the John Doe in there. No one is going to find us or know who we are, right? I don't know. I was like thinking about that. So, not having enough justice. Okay. So, let me not the options. Sorry. Where should I load? Since the beginning, or maybe not. Let's just start in somewhere else. So I want revenge. I want him to die, to suffer everything he did to me. Doe doesn't push for an explanation. He just nods, exhaling slowly, watching as the trees sway in the morning. I don't think this is going to be needed. So let's go. I don't know, visit downtown or something. You wander downtown with Doe, taking in the nightlife around you. Neon signs flicker against glass windows, the scent of fresh coffee and street food drifting through the air, mixing with the distant smell of gasoline and rain-soaked concrete. I hope this is not going to take me long because I need to go. Being here and surrounded by so much life is strange when you are anything but. The last time you were downtown, you were alive. Now you're just watching from the edges, a ghost in a world that no longer sees you, literally. Doe walks beside you, his gaze flickering over the different shops, the familiar landmarks, and the crowds passing by. He looks more relaxed than he did at the cemetery. That's good, at least. However, there's something distant in his expression, like he's waiting for something to click, for a memory to shake itself free from whatever fog still holds it down. Oh, you would have liked my story better. It would be different, right? This one is like, I mean, it was okay, but I felt like it was kind of like something that you would expect, you know. If you would have like that type of twist that I was telling, yeah, it would be cool. So, anything ringing a bell? Doe exhales, rubbing the back of his neck. Nope. Sorry. Oh, it's fine. Let's head to the morgue then. You begin walking towards the morgue. You don't really want to be there, but there's no evidence of Doe anywhere. Not at the cemetery, not in the records, nowhere. There should have been something, some kind of proof, but there wasn't. It doesn't make sense. None of this makes sense. So you are here. Doe follows close behind, quieter than usual. He hasn't said much since the cemetery. You don't blame him. You wouldn't know what to say either. He doesn't need to breathe, but he still exhales, long and slow, his voice barely a whisper. This place gives me the creeps. You huff, sound more bitter than amused. I used to work here, you know. Doe turns to you, brow furrowing slightly. Yeah. You nod, fingers dragging along the metal of one of the storage drawers, the coldness of it bleeding through even though you don't feel the temperature anymore. Back before all this, it was just a job. You glance at him. Guess it's different now, huh? Doe doesn't smile. He just looks around, eyes flicking to the cabinets, the storage spaces, the empty tables meant for people who actually existed. Yeah. His voice is distant. Something inside you twists at the sound of it, but you push forward. You don't know what you're looking for, not exactly, but you know you'll recognize it when you see it. There's something here. So you start searching. You move quickly, cabinets, drawers, storage spaces, your hands ghost over them all, ripping them open with your otherworldly ability, then slamming them shut. It doesn't matter what's inside, none of it matters, everything else is just noise until you find what you're looking for. The silence is thick. Then you stop. Your eyes catch on something out of place. A bag, nothing remarkable, nothing fancy, just a simple worn bag. Okay, they are going to find it probably. Oh, I cannot skip it. You reach out, your fingers ghosting over the material before you pull it forward and zipping it slowly. Inside there are items, personal belongings, things shoved inside, carelessly discarded like they no longer mattered, and among them, old student IDs. You furrow your brows, pulling them out, flipping through them, names, faces, forgotten students who must have come through here at some point. One ID catches your attention. You move to grab it, half expecting it to fall out of your ghostly hands, but it doesn't. Your fingers tighten around it as you bring it closer, staring at the name, the photo, the piece of the puzzle that was missing until now. You freeze, looking at the text on the ID. Ethan Calloway. When you flip the ID over, you aren't met with Ethan's face. No, well, you are. Just not Ethan's. Dose. You don't breathe, you don't move. This is wrong, so wrong. There's another one, another ID, another name, and the name is Jude Marshall. You frown, confusion breaking through the horror building in your chest. Your hands shake as you turn the ID over. Expecting what? Expecting a stranger's face, expecting someone you don't recognize? But it's not a stranger. It's the face you've been following this whole time, the face you've spoken to, haunted, tormented, the face of the person you thought you knew, the face that was supposed to belong to Ethan. But it doesn't. Jude's face stares back at you. Everything slots together. Jude isn't Ethan. Jude killed Ethan. Yeah, I wanted to skip this part because we already did it, but I cannot. As you can see, he doesn't let me. Okay, we already saw this. Jude Marshall, you know, it exists. His hands are clenched at sides, and maybe they are not he. Yeah. You were dating a liar this entire time, a murderer. Yes, Ethan. Enough remembering. The morgue is silent again. But now it feels worse. You hold the ID so tightly they could snap it half. Ethan doesn't say anything else. He doesn't need to, because you know what comes next. Because Jude Marshall is going to pay for this. He won't even have a chance to beg. Okay, I think this is the same one. This is it, decide your face. Scare them off. Okay. You push Ethan away from the figure, determined to take control of the situation. He doesn't resist, backing away until he is out of your sight. He knows better. You shove the nightstand harder than you mean to. The lamp titters for a breathless moment, then tips. It hits the floor with a dull crack, spilling oil across the warped boards. For half a second, nothing happens. Then the flame catches. There's a quiet whoosh as fire blooms outward in a sudden angry snake, racing along the floor and up the walls. It's fast, too fast. Smoke curls in gray tendrils, rising towards the ceiling, creeping along cracks and corners like ghostly fingers. The figure at the desk freezes for half a second before bolting out of the room, gone if they were never there. But the fire isn't gone. It's very, very real. You watch it for a moment, feeling the heat build at your back. The room already smells of old wood burning, smoke thick in your throat. You can barely hear anything except the faint roar of fire now. Jude coughs. He's awake now, struggling upright in bed. His blankets fall away in a messy heap as he hacks and whizzes, eyes wide and glassy in the flickering firelight. He twists his face in confusion, then his eyes shut open in panic. The room's orange glow reflects in his irises. He looks around, taking it in. Fire, smoke, you. His gaze lands on you like a blow. What? His voice catches, rough and broken. He coughs again, clutching at his throat, fingers scrambling against invisible claws digging into his lungs. Well, what did you... You say nothing. It's your turn to provoke him with silence. There's a sick kind of peace in it, the knowledge that he knows. Watch him suffer. You stay still, rooted. Jude coughs, doubled over as he struggles to breathe. His hands flail at the smoke as if he can push it away. His legs shake when he stands, his knees threatening to buckle with each step. Help me, please. You remain where you stand. He stumbles sideways, coughing so hard his body jerks. He nearly falls, catching himself against the desk. Please, he repeats. You don't have to. Your eyes stare down at him. You know the expression on your face is nothing short of cold and unempathetic. Jude collapses near the far wall. His body shakes as he coughs again and again, less each time, shallower until it stops. And then he's still. You listen to the crackle of the fire as it feeds on everything left. You expect to feel something, but you don't. No relief, no justice, not even satisfaction. Just hollow. Like something inside you burned up along with the rest of it. You glance at your hand, the IDs are still there, Ethan's, Jude's. The edges are soft now, melted a little by the heat. Ethan's face is half warped, Jude isn't. His photo stares back at you. A sound behind you makes you turn. You expect to see Ethan, but... It's Jude. Ethan is not in the room anymore. His ghost stands near the bed, the same clothes he died in, pale, dim. He looks down at himself, frowning like he's trying to remember something. His eyes meet yours. He's terrified, rooted in place. You don't move, neither does he. Then Jude's ghost fades, slowly, quietly. He doesn't say anything, but he's suffering, you can tell. And you are alone again. You leave the room. You pass Ethan's ghost in the hallway. He watches you with a look you can't read. There's no relief in his face, no peace as he blinks and turns away from you. You don't stop. You wonder what Jude thought in his last moment. Was it you? Was it Ethan? Was it anything at all? You keep walking. There's no place you are going, not really. Excuse me. You just can't stay there anymore. Your feet lead you to a lake in the forest, your reflection non-existent as you peer into the depths of the water below. You toss the IDs in. Why? They sink without a sound. You think about following them. But you don't. You couldn't if you tried. You're stuck here forever. So the ending to Revenge. And that's it for today. I really need to go now. I'm kind of like on schedule now. So I don't know if tomorrow I'm not going to bring another one that it's kind of like close to this one, because I think I might. I don't know. I still need to see it. Okay. We'll see how things turn out tomorrow. For today, that's it. I'm going to leave the link in the description below as usual, so you can play it if you would like. This is a free to play game. As you can see, like, yes, you do have like some kind of a romance going on here, but it's like, it's so subtle that, I mean, I would consider this one to be more like a type of a thriller than actually more leaning towards the emotional and psychological horror than actually something more related to the visual novels that we've been playing in here. But I want to be able to have a versatile channel in here and have other things going on here too in terms of visual novels. I'm not talking about bringing other type of games. But that's it for today. I really need to leave. Thank you very much for being in there. Thank you, and I'll see you next time.